Hello, my beautiful friends. Out-of-body experiences. Let's talk about them. So I want to share with you guys the two really transformative out-of-body experiences that I had when I was 19. I'm not going to talk about the near-death experience that I had when I was 15 that I already did a video on. If you want to check out that video, I will keep the link in the description below. But I want to share with you guys my my two really transformative out-of-body experiences today. If you have had any out-of-body experiences, I would love to hear about them in the comments below. If you like this video, comment if you like this, all the stuff that I share, subscribe for the future. So my first really transformative out-of-body experience occurred after I had just read Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks, and so the teachings of Abraham. And so I had been really focused on wanting to manifest my reality. So the most important thing that they suggest is to meditate. And I had not yet consciously meditated at that time. I was 19 years old, and I thought, oh shoot, well they're just saying if I just sit there in a chair, relaxed, and put a timer on for 15 to 20 minutes, and count my breaths, all will be well. So I thought, heck, that's easy enough. So I did that. I got on my parents' lazy boy, put on the alarm clock for 20 minutes on the the oven timer. Laid back, kicked back, and I closed my eyes and I just started to breathe and count my breaths. So I had nothing. I had nothing to expect, nothing to anticipate. So I just started breathing and felt myself starting to relax. In one, out, one, in two, out, two. Obviously, I'm saying this inaudibly in my head, but I'm just counting. In, three, out, three. Just following with my breath. So a few minutes in, I start to feel this subtle numbness in my hands. I think nothing of it. I remembered what Abraham said in the book. If you feel anything, if you're thinking things, just try to return your focus to counting the breath, to the breath. I just kept sticking with it. Okay, 5, 5, 6, 6. Obviously by this time I'm at about 60. And then the numbness started to transfer up to my arms, started happening in my feet. By this time I'm probably at 100, 150, probably way more than that. But I'm just really focused on my breath. So I just let it happen. My body continues to get numb, number, more numb, number, number. I don't know if more numb or number is a word. More numb, more numb, more numb. Until all of a sudden, all I could really feel was my chest and a little bit of my face, my nose. Chest and nose, primarily because I was feeling the breath come in through my nose, tickling my nose and then out of my nose. The whole body's completely numb. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. This feels like the morphine that I used to take that I loved. But I just kept focusing on the breath, 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 breath. All of a sudden, my breath started to change. And I started to breathe more rapidly without my conscious control. So I started continuing until took this big breath and I exhaled out. And on the next big inhalation, I'm not controlling this, my body's just doing this. I felt myself get this numbness, this numb body, or this awareness that I had now become, right, that I had now recognized myself as, become as big as my house. And I exhaled, and then I inhaled, and I became the city of Reno. and inhaled, and I became the whole United States. And I became the earth. And I became the Milky Way galaxy. And I became the universe. And then I found myself fluctuating in this sea of nothingness, of the center of what I thought was consciousness, what is the center of the isness. You could call it the universe, but it felt like simultaneously I was everything and nothing all at the same time. I could feel myself as nothingness and exuding out as the vastness of eternity simultaneously. And it was like I was just fluctuating between this understanding of emptiness and completeness. And I just kind of hung out there. And it felt like I existed there for a split second and an eternity. Just being. And then I was the fullness, that I was consciousness itself. It felt like I was God. It felt like I was the vastness of eternity. I could feel myself as an extension of everything and nothing all at the same time. And that was all I could attribute it to. The feelings of the Buddha nature, the Christ consciousness, the extension of God as God. But then I heard this distant, it sounded like it was 1,000 miles away, beeping. Beep, 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 beep. This echoed, distant beeping. And I thought to myself, and then I kind of got this conscious awareness and went, what is that? And then this thought came to me, oh, you're still at your house. And I was like, whoa. So it was like I didn't register that I was not this form anymore, or right, that I wasn't this consciousness, I was form as well. And I was like, oh. So I kind of, that awareness came back into my mind, and just as how I had come out, I started to come back in, back to the Milky Way galaxy, the universe, understanding the universe, then the Milky Way galaxy, then Earth, then down the state, the city, the house, then me. And I sat there, the alarm went off, after 30 seconds. And I sat there for another 10 minutes, trying to bring awareness back into my body and let that numbness start to fade, because I was actually a little panicky coming back in, because I thought, am I going to be numb like this and not be able to feel my body forever? Is this going to last forever? And I did eventually. The numbness, the tingling started to coming back online. My nervous system, right, my central nervous system, the nerves started to come back online and give me sensation until I awoke. Well, kind of came out of it. So that was my first out-of-body experience. You can think, as a person who was addicted to morphine in the hospital, how incredibly addictive that feeling was, and like, wow, holy crap. So the very next day, I thought, let's try this again. But instead of sitting up, I laid down in my bed. Set a timer on my phone this time for 20 minutes. And sure as could be, I did the exact same thing. Was breathing, counted my breath. As soon as I could feel myself connect with my breath, like I did the first time, I didn't need to count anymore. I could just feel my breath in my nose, through my chest. I could feel the sensations. The numbness started to occur within the hands, the feet, the legs. Everything went numb again. And what do you get? What do you know? The breath just started coming back in. In, out, in, out. And this time, I breathed in and I heard a pop. And the next thing I knew, I was looking down at my body as my astral body, as my whatever you want to call it, my consciousness, but I could feel myself looking down at my body and went, whoa! And I rushed back in, whoof! And my whole body jolted, and I heard another pop. And because I was numb, it took me another five minutes to kind of come out of that one. But that one I was a bit more freaked out about. You know, most people think that one sounds a little bit cooler than the first one, but I gotta disagree with you. That first one was effing wild. It was so cool and so transformative. It was so awakening. It was recognizing myself as God. Whereas this second one, it freaked me out because, you know, before it was like I was expanding, right? My essence was expanding into this greater ness that it is, right? To the wholeness that it is. But this one was like, I pop out and I'm looking down at my body going, oh shit. And I pop right back in. So it was real jarring. It was not nearly as comfortable or as, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluid. So yeah, those are my two out-of-body experiences. I've had a few of them following, but nothing like those two. And so really what it all came down to is those two experiences I felt for me were my transformative catalysts to understanding myself as beyond the body, beyond the mind, but as the spirit, right? And so that's taken me I'm still on this fun little journey 15 years later of understanding myself as that. But those two experiences were just these catalyzing experiences to go, hey, you know, you are far beyond what you see in the mirror, what you see when you look down. When you close your eyes and you go into that inner world and you begin to have these conversations, when you continue to step back, Zach, you are the awareness. Your body is breathing itself. Your heart is pumping itself. This is a beautiful vessel. But when you become the awareness, you can sit there and observe how your breath just moves in and out, how your heart beats, how the white blood cells do all what they need to do, the red blood cells do what they need to do, the hormones do what they need to do, right? It's an incredible, this vessel is incredible. But for me, it was when I kept only seeing myself as body and mind, it didn't allow for my true healing, my true awakening, to recognize myself and to experience myself. It wasn't just recognizing myself. It was experiencing myself as the purity of spirit, as God itself. So, yeah, those are my two out-of-body experiences. I think that's all there really is to say about that. If you have questions, I'd love to answer your questions. Or if you have experiences similarly or anything, any out-of-body experience, I'd love to hear it. Obviously mine were not medically induced, they were not pharmaceutically induced, they were not recreationally induced. It was purely me sitting there, meditating, and having this experience of going beyond the body and the mind and understanding myself and knowing myself as a spirit, as God. And that really helps me because it helps me see all the rest of us as that as well. All forms as that. Consciousness itself, right? God itself. We can see consciousness really tends to be like that masculine identity of God, and the feminine being the expression itself. So, but recognizing myself as both expression, all that is, and consciousness, nothing, I had this transformative, catalyzing experience, really awakening to a point beyond I've had anything. But that's my story and I'm sticking to it. You made it this far. It's quite a long video. Thank you for listening. Again, if you have comments, I love to hear your comments. I love to hear your stories. If you have questions, I love to hear your questions. And if you want to hear any other videos about this, maybe I'll do some more about these as well. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. You are God in expression, and you are God in your wholeness. Can't take that away. Right? When Buddha was enlightened, he said, I and the whole world are enlightened together. The Buddha nature is within you. The Christ consciousness is within you. Jesus was always trying to help us recognize that we are that. I am that. So I am that. We are the eternal. We are the infinite consciousness. We are the eternal witness. All these beautiful terms for the same thing. You are that. You can't change it. Just accept it. I love you guys. Thank you for watching so much. Comment, like, share. I will see you next time. Until then, I love you.